welcome to the OurMFC YouTube channel. Welcome back, I should say. If it isn't welcome back, then, why not? Anyway, it's the only channel you can get this guy. So, if that isn't a reason to subscribe, I don't know what is. I'll tell you what is. The tactical analysis in this video. Oh boy. Wow. It beggars belief, Anyway, so this is, as you'll have seen in the title, unless you're blind, which if you manage to click on the video, fair play, impressive work. Yeah, it's the review for the Borough v Blackburn game, which happened at the Riverside on Saturday. And now I can actually be at the game because I had family around, so I've done my best, watched extended highlights and looked at player positions and stats on whoscored.com. So use that. Yeah, so this is how the game unfolded. Blackburn took the lead after 17 minutes. Sam Gallagher scored. It's a great goal. Edge of the box, curls it with his right off the post and in. Lumley's had some criticism, especially in that QPR game, but there's nothing he could have done about that one, really. Yeah, it's a great goal. Nothing you can say, really. Assisted by Ian Pervada Ocampo, apparently. So good for Ian. Well, not good for Ian, actually. It was against us. Screw you, Ian. Yeah, knobhead. But Borough struck back on the 36th minute with a rare goal for Johnny Howson, who's only scored, he's only scored 6 times for Borough in, I think, 146 appearances. Obviously, his role isn't as a goal scorer, but you want to chip her a few more times, Johnny, that'd be great. But this one, speaking of chip, was lovely. Ooh, segue. It was a lovely chip over the keeper, and Dyksdale's pass, is wonderful. He just threads it straight through defence splitter. Howson makes a great run from deep, and then, the rest is history, as they say. Lobs the keeper. You could argue Blackburn's defender wasn't great for that, but who cares? And yeah, I think it's a big performance. It's a big goal for Howson, but the performance as well, which I'll talk more about. I'll talk more about it now. Why not? Is a big performance. He got man of the match. Who scored rated him at a 7.7 for this game. Yeah, he had 2 shots. Obviously, one of them went in. Completed 78% of his passes, which is pretty solid. 2 dribbles, 3 tackles. Just a real good all round performance from him. Attempted 1 aerial duel and won it. He's not the tallest. He's not tiny, but so just all round a great performance from Howson. He definitely needed it because I was at the QPR game. That was my first game back, and I felt like I'd never left. It was a typical Borough game, most frustrating game since probably that Swansea loss, where Gavin Ward, our Lord and Saviour. Yeah, solid performance from Howson. Really needed after QPR, where he was. It's not beat around the bush. He was dreadful. And the game took a swing actually. On 79 minutes, it was 1-1 the whole time. Olasanya came off the bench, nearly scored. After Tavernier had a shot saved by the keeper, parried out, and Toyosi Olasanya, who wants to be called T apparently, so T we'll call him. And T just couldn't get a shot away before he was denied by, I think it was Darragh Lenihan, which probably isn't how you pronounce it. He's Irish, so I think he's Irish. Sorry, Darragh, man. I've done it wrong. But yeah, that would have been a dream debut for T, wouldn't it? If he gets one on his debut coming from Billericay Town, that would have been quite something. Not to be though. I did love that him scrapping. I don't know who the player was. He's trying to run away. Blackburn player's pulling his shirt. He's having none of it. He gets up. Have that sunshine. Yeah, that was exactly what he did. Exactly as effeminate as I did it as well. Yeah, what beast. Instant fan favourite for that. But as I was saying, on 79 minutes, Hayden Carter got a second yellow for a high boot, which, it looks like an honest challenge for the ball, but his foot's at head height, it catches McNair in the face. Like, you can't do that and expect to get away with it. So yeah, he got a second yellow. Suddenly, momentum swings in Borough's favour, who, from what I've read, we were the better team. But 2 minutes later, Sam Morsy gets sent off. I've been told it's not great. I've been told that the decision to send him off wasn't great. Tony Mowbray, the former Borough, current Blackburn manager, said that he's not going to complain about it, but essentially he was saying he was a bit confused. But apparently it's going to be appealed by the club, so we'll see how that goes. We appealed some red cards last season, one for Sam Morsy, I believe. So EFL refs, baby. So Borough had 12 shots to 6, 9 from open play, 2 from a set piece, 1 from a counter attack, which is quite surprising. To just have the 1 from a counter attack. Although, let's have a look at the average positions. Maybe Blackburn was at quite deep. They were definitely crowding the middle. What you're seeing here is kind of what you'd expect. Borough really stretching the play. You can see Jones getting far out on the left. You can see Dykesdale pushing up very high out on the right. Howson and McNair kind of filling in for them. Really, they're kind of sitting back. Obviously, Howson did make that driving run for the goal. Grant Hall, the deepest player, obviously, other than Lumley. And it's all quite bunched up in the middle there, where you've got, clearly you're going to have Morley pressing in from the midfield and trying to win the ball back. Tav cutting in from the right, as you expect, allowing Dykesdale that space. And then there's Watmore and Crooks as well in there. I don't really know the formation we were playing in that game. Like I say, I wasn't there. This is showing as a 2-2-6. Whereas Blackburn, Blackburn really had no width in this game. None at all. I'm seeing 4 players just past the halfway line, just all bunched together, and just behind them 2 bunched together again. Number 3, he's for Blackburn. He's their widest player, and on the other side, they really had nothing. You can see Jones was keeping them pinned back in that area, which is no surprise because Isaiah Jones is a bloody baller. In terms of the action zones, this shows we were the better side. We were dominant. We were keeping the ball mostly in the middle third, but also a lot in their third. So it was 26% in the home third, as hopefully you'll be able to see on the screen right now. About 40% in the middle, 39, and then 35 in the away third. So really, Borough were dominating the ball, dictating the tempo. Blackburn, by the looks of this, was just sitting in. The only thing with that is that in terms of the shot zones, Blackburn had 83% of their shots in the 18-yard box, whereas only 33% of ours were. We had 58% of our shots from outside the box, which is something that will need to be worked on. Because really, who do we have that can score from the edge of the area from outside the box? Tav probably can. In fact, Tav can. I reckon Crooks has probably got it in him. That's about it, I'd say, really. There might be someone I'm missing. Bit of interaction. Drop it in the comments. Obviously, with no Lewis Wing, we don't really want to be shooting from the edge of the area. So something to be worked on, really. But I'd imagine what was happening was Blackburn was sitting deep and just blocking that 18-yard box and reducing us to shooting from distance. Probably explains why we had, 12 shots and barely any of them in the box. Yeah, and surprisingly, actually, a lot of the Blackburn attacks were coming down the right hand side, which is quite surprising when you look at the average positions. I'd say to me that's probably suggests they didn't have that many attacks. If their average possessions were all very central, but only 29% of their attacks came from the middle, whereas 40% were on the right. Again, I didn't watch the game, but that suggests to me that a lot of the time they were keeping it, really compact down the middle, sat deep, and then, when they did go, they went down the right, they went down, because by the looks of things, we were quite open on that in in the average positions. Dale Fry was having to come out to the left quite a lot to stop that. By lots of things, because Isaiah Jones was pushed way up. But I feel like Jones may be playing as a left back because Bowler was on the bench. So yeah, that's quite interesting. Whereas in terms of Borough's attacks, they were even on the left and the right hand side, which you can see from the player positions. They've got, Jones far up on the left, pretty much in line with Dijksteel far up on the right. So ultimately, it's a reasonable point. Probably deserved the win, but it is what it is. We can't really be complaining about points like this. Blackburn they're a hard team to play against. They've proved that this season, even with the loss of Adam Armstrong. They've still got Ben Brereton Diaz. Chile, madness. Clearly, Sam Gallagher can hit a screamer. They're a good team, and Tony Mowbray, he knows how to sit in. Clearly, I think it was a good performance from what I've seen here and from what I've seen on Twitter and things like that. Ultimately, 1-1 draw. It's not bad. It's not the end of the world. It's a lot more positive than a draw with Derby. Say, it's not the end of the world. Could have done with 3. Performance merited 3, from what I've been told. But that's football. That's why we love the beautiful game. And I'm sure, a Neil Warnock team against a Tony Mowbray team was a bloody beautiful game of football. Yeah. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this more tactical side to the match previews, reviews, let us know. Might be something we can do more frequently. Equally, if you didn't, put it in the comments. Don't message me. That would be nice. Don't send it to me Twitter. I wouldn't really appreciate that. But yeah, if it's something you want to see more of, let us know. And equally, if it isn't, feel free to drop a dislike. Do what you want. It's a free world. Who am I to say? Pleasure to see you. Hope it was a pleasure seeing me. Drop a like and a subscribe, as I always say, because I feel like I have to. And also you should. Thank you for watching. And I will see you soon.